There's a live shot of Calgary. Yes, it is a beautiful morning, and we hope it stays that way at least through the Thanksgiving Day long weekend. We're going to find out from, well, Kate was just mentioning a few moments ago. But hey, there is a beacon of hope for countless injured wildlife in Alberta, and they've found and brought a friend. First, let me introduce you to Andrea Hunt, who is the business administrator with Cwrs, which stands for the Calgary Wildlife Rehabilitation Society.
That's right.
Correct?
It's a big mouthful.
And you have a friend, a guest, if you will. Who is this?
This is Ophelia.
See what I did there?
This is Ophelia. She's a great horned owl, and she came to us about 9 years ago with an injury in one of her wings. Unfortunately, we couldn't heal it to the point where she could be able to be released back into the wild. So she is flighted, but she can't fly well enough to hunt. But she did exhibit traits that made us think that she would be good as an education animal. So she was docile enough, gentle enough for us to train. And so now she comes out to schools with us and to public relation events to teach kids and the public about wildlife and about conservation and habitat issues.
When you introduce Ophelia to kids, what do you say about Ophelia?
Well, I give her a little bit of her backstory. Like I tell them how she came to us, what kind of bird she is. I also try to mention to them that she is a wild animal.
She's a wild animal.
She is not a pet to us, so she's not like a domestic pet, and so she can be a little bit unpredictable. There are times when she might be making noises, flapping her wings, or if she gets spooked in a classroom, she might actually even try to take off of her perch. It doesn't happen very often, but it does occasionally happen because, as I said, she's a wild animal and is unpredictable.
Now, owls are usually out at night, right?
That's correct.
So how is she dealing with all the lights and stuff around here?
She does this a lot. So Ophelia goes out at least 2 times a week during the school year. We usually run 2 owl programs a week and 1 hawk program a week. So she's quite used to being out during the day, but when we bring her back to her enclosure back at the center, then she stays in it's pretty dark in there, and she hangs out with another great horned owl that we have for education, whose name is Oberon.
Wow. What can you tell us about Ophelia, or what can you tell us about owls?
About great horned owls or just owls?
great horned owls. So I see this magnificent creature beside me. And by the way, extremely intimidating, just over here on my left shoulder.
You're making you a little nervous?
But as Kate mentioned, they're nocturnal for the most part.
Absolutely. And I mean, they are amazing creatures. One of the things we like to emphasize in our programs is that they are silent flyers. And a lot of people don't realize that a lot of birds don't fly silently. If you think about pigeons or geese or anything like that, their wings make quite a lot of sound. And owls need to fly silently so they can hunt prey at night. So they have all these beautiful little comb-like on their feathers. It's all sort of fluffy and it's not a straight edge. And so that muffles the air as it goes over their wings and makes them silent flyers, which is very unique in the bird world.
What advice would you give to someone if they come across a wildlife animal in distress?
Well, the first thing we would say is they should probably phone us. Our wildlife hotline is 403-239-2488. The best thing to do is to phone us, especially if they're not sure what to do, because a lot of wildlife that people find don't actually need our help. So, for example, hares in the spring, a lot of people find hares, think they're orphaned, but they usually are not orphaned, and so then they're just actually taking those hares from their mothers, where they have the best chance of survival. So if they phone us, we can give them advice about whether they should bring animals to us or not, and we answer thousands of wildlife-related calls every single year, and our staff are quite happy to help. If you do find an injured animal, you know for sure that it's injured, the best way to sort of subdue it is to throw a towel or a jacket, something like that, sort of scoop it up and put it into a box, making sure that it has air holes, and then it can be brought to us. We are open every day of the year, or it can be brought to a veterinary clinic who will hold that animal until it can get to us.
And you guys also take donations, right?
Absolutely. So we are a charity, and we rely entirely on donations from the public, from granting boards, and from corporations in order to meet our funding, the funding that we need to take care of our animals. We don't receive any money from the government, direct funding anyway. We don't receive money from the City of Calgary.
Boy, that must just chap your hide.
Well, it's just a lot of nonprofits are in the same position that we are. It's difficult. Funding is difficult for all nonprofits. So any donation is greatly appreciated for us because the money goes directly to the care of our animals, to feeding them, giving them medicine. We are a full veterinary clinic, so we can do surgeries on our animals and give them the best chance of a new tomorrow.
The plan is to rehabilitate them to the wild.
Absolutely. We are not a zoo or a sanctuary, so we don't keep animals out, with the exception of animals like Ophelia. Ophelia, who are what we could consider working animals, like they're working for us. So we don't have a public space for people to come and look at our animals. We are a wildlife trauma hospital. So we take in animals that have been injured, often through conflict with like human activities, like they're hit by cars, electrocuted, just window strikes, those types of things. They're injured by their interactions with us. We take them in and heal them and then release them back into the wild where they belong.
You know, and a big part of it is just awareness. And so I want to thank you for bringing this beautiful, beautiful animal here today. Thank you very much,
Well,
Andrea.
thank you for having us.
This is great. She is the business administrator with Cwrs. And this is Ophelia. Yep, I see you. I know you see me too. This is Trending on Shaw. Here's what's happening in and around our city.